Alright folks, we're working on the Exo-2. I just wanted to show you that from that point of view real quick. I'm done with everything but now mounting the motors and the backpack straps. All the cables are now ready to go. I've got some cosmetic things I'm going to apply to it to make it look pretty cool. We're going to paint it up. First we're going to brush it down. But I wanted to show you exactly what I did here to first of all hide all the cables, at least for the most part hide the cables, and still make it very powerful, give it some looks to it. You can see here our arm. We've got the twin cables coming out right there, going to either side of our pivot point, giving us a real nice ability to have a dual directional power system here on our arms. You see I've put some hand grips. I'll show you that later on. We'll be able to hold on to those and to mount all the switches for the extra stuff that's going on this one. You can see here the cables go up past brass roller wheels up into a piece of tubing. So you can see here this one goes up and you just got the same thing, cable coming up, that'll go over a pulley at the top and back to our winch. Both these cables hook to the same winch. You just have to have one pre-spun on a few times and the other one just barely on, and then it'll wind one up and extend the other as it does one rotation around. Even with a cover on this, I can make most of that disappear so you don't see much of those cables. And right now all you can see is about that much of it, and if I extend the arm either direction you can see what that looks like when the arm's fully extended out like that. You can see here the hip and the leg. I've got a piece of cable right here running down over a large pulley, going down through a piece of tubing, so you barely see any of the cable right here. Goes all the way down through the piece of tubing, comes around our knee pulley, bends all the way around that, back past our, basically it's called that a calf pulley, and then down to the bottom part and the back side of our ankle right here of our foot pad. Now we got the tubing running from the bottom side of that pulley up to the top side of that pulley and around once again on that leg. So everything here is ready to go. I've just got to now mount straps, get all that ready to go to hold the waist and our shoulders to us here, and then put the electric motors on this, and we'll try out a wireless system for this. So I don't have any wires running down any of my limbs. It'll all be wireless hand controls and foot controls. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed, folks. Right now I want to show you the feet. The feet are going to be actuating. I'll show you this in a moment here. Actuates the entire operation of the leg. Happens right here off of this toe pad. And what I've done is created a toe operated switch system. And you can see these two little stainless rods coming down right there. Those are little push rods basically. And when you move your toe, when you bring it down, you push up on the back rod. That hits the switch that's inside of the wireless controller right here. And if you lift your toe up, it hits the front rod, pushes the opposite switch. So by lifting and pushing down on your toe, you can lift the whole leg up or push the leg down under power. And all that's inside of this right here is a simple wireless winch controller that came with these winches. Alright, from this angle I can show you the push rods in action. The toe plate is at neutral right now, so we're going to go ahead and push the toe plate down. You'll see the back rod come up. That's going to hit against the switch that now extends the leg under power. Now by pulling the toe upwards now, you can see the front rod just came up right there, and I can put it back down, and then back to the back rod, and then up to the front rod there. So that is our switch system that's activating against the wireless controller that you see right here. So those little tops right there align perfectly with these two parts of the switch. The washers keep the rest of the controller high enough so there's some travel distance between it and those pressure plates. You can just push it down in there, operate your toe, and that pushes the switch in either direction. And I'll show you that in action here in just a moment. Alright folks, I've got everything hooked up here, and what we're going to do is just kind of actuate the leg a little bit. You can see from the hip all the way down to the foot. So this is going to be to lift your leg, which is a loosening of the cable. Since this doesn't lift the leg automatically, you lift the leg. So you can pull it up, you can hear the cable loosen up there. You push it down, and it tightens out the leg. And you can see the suit right here stand up really well. If it was a side view, you can see just how much it actually stood up. Let's go ahead now and loosen. So there's loose. So real quick, to take a step here, you're going to want to lift your toe. And then to bring it down, you can push your toe down. And you can lift your toe. So there you go. There's a demonstration of our toe switch in action, and that's all wirelessly controlled from this little box. Let me show you the wireless controller in there. Here it is. Very simple little wireless controller. It sits in there. I'll show you the engineering on the foot here in just a moment. Okay, now that I've showed you that, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the suit. You see we're ready to go. I want to make this modular. I want to make sure that the lower part of the body can be used independent from the upper part of the body. So right now what we're testing out is everything needed to use this for just the lower legs, to power up our lower legs, every bit of the controllers, the harness, everything. The upper part of the system, the upper arms and the rest of that will just bolt right on right here and be ready to go if you need it. You can see here I've used Velcro for all our shoulder harnesses, our belt harness now. I've got padding built up into our all steel shoulder harness here. Let me pull that down a bit so you can see it. I've got reinforcements in the back so it can't bend on us at all. I've got angles to it all so you can see from this angle here, you can see exactly the curve. You can see all the padding, how it works. You can see the back pad. So you can see right here we've got an adjustable waist. It's got hinges built into the steel there, and it's got padding, Velcro straps. Really easy to get into this and adjust everything. You see the wireless winch controllers are right here. Here's your wireless receivers, one for each winch. There's one, there's one. Each one of these winches are 2,500 pound winches. So obviously they're very, very powerful, and I'm not using anywhere near the quality of steel or the thickness of steel that these things could power up. They have obviously more power than is needed for something this lightweight. Alright, so there we are, folks. Trying to get this to work my first time has been a little tricky. As you can see there, it gives me a lot more knee bend. Now I can bend like that, I can take a step. Now to straighten out my leg, I push down with my toe. You can see right there it's straightened out. Once again on this leg, we're going to lift our toe, that's going to loosen, take a step, push the toe back down, and now I've got power back to that leg again. Well, we're going to lift our toe. We're going to now push the toe down. Okay. It's a little difficult to get used to this. Alright, once again though, now that we've kind of gone over the initial walking here, I've got my tether in my hand as a safety measure, because this thing can go wild on. If your foot got stuck in a certain position here before I put my limiters on there, it could tear me apart. One of the things about the suit is, let me go ahead and loosen up the suit. Okay, that should be, well, not quite enough. Alright, so now that knee's loose. Let's check this one. There we go. So now I've got full range of motion, and we can walk in the suit without it being powered just like this. Okay, up close like this, I want to kind of show you exactly how much motion is taking place in my toes to make the suit work. First of all, I'm going to slouch way down into the suit right now. You can see I'm not holding the weight of the suit up. Let's go ahead and bring the suit a little taller. Okay, so that's both legs now extended all the way up. You can see shoulders, I can put my hand between my shoulder and the harness now. The suit is actually standing on its own right now. So it's well above my shoulder height. Let's go ahead and bring that down. Alright. So I can readjust now into the shoulder harness. Bring it down a little lower. Alright, so now what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to bend over and grab something. And right now the suit's got me limited about right there. So let's get down a little bit lower. Alright, so I can bend over, I can grab something off the ground. And now with the toes, I can now straighten myself completely up. So there we are. We have now toe actuated controls for our exoskeleton. I'm trying to bring that back down to my own height there. Alright, now I'm fitting into the suit a little better. So we can walk around. I'm a little stiff-legged right now. I can't lift my knees any higher than this. And what this allows me to do is the second I don't want to feel the weight of the suit, I just slump into the suit. The suit now holds its own weight on the cable system. And the second I want to walk around or do anything in the suit, now I'm back to my toe controls and I can loosen up just like that. And now I've got full range of motion with my legs. So I can walk almost like normal. And now we can get into a position, use our toes to power back up again. So there we are. Today what we're doing is going over Exo Model 2, or my prototype Model 2. These are just the beginning prototypes of 9 different models of Exo-Suits I've been working on. I'm going to show you the upper body system that I've got built on it. I'm going to demonstrate it real quickly here. You see we've got our upper arms on there, the upper body. I can show you here in the back. We've got our 4 winches, 2 inches for the lower body and 2 inches for the upper body, giving us total power here around 8,000 pounds worth of total force within this suit. Alright, to start describing how I built this, you can see we've got 2 cables coming over, a set of 2 pulleys here off our main upper shoulder brace for the Exo arm. And what that is one of these cables runs our lift direction on our arm, and the other cable runs our, let's say, our push-up direction, our push-away direction on our arm, which is back here. So we've got a center mount point on our arm and a pivot point right there. So as we pull tension on this side of our pivot point, it's going to extend our arm back out. As we pull tension on this side, it's going to pull our arm back in. And as we do so, one side of the cable releases some tension, the other side draws in the rest of it. Keeping it so it's nice and together works pretty well. So let me go ahead now, set up the camera, and we're going to use this and demonstrate it. Alright, so you can see I've got myself nestled into the suit here. Got one of my arms on. I'm holding on to this little front bar right here. This is where all the switches for the arms are going to go. They're going to go, we're going to have a thumb switch, we're going to have all that on there. For now, I just have the cables in my hand. We're going to actuate this kind of simply. Let's go ahead and do a curl. So there's a curl. You can still move your arm around once you're in that curl position, you can see. Now let's go ahead and do a push-up. So there's a full push-up right there. You can lift the whole body weight, obviously, of this suit and your own, and probably a lot more since that winch is capable of about 2,000 pounds. So once again, let's do a curl. So there's a full curl, and once again, extension. Now for now, folks, the speed of this is all because I'm using an 8 amp battery charger. These winch motors can handle a much higher amperage load, so they're running with a very minor amount of the potential, so the speed is very slow comparatively. Once those are powered up, let's say a 40 amp charger on all of them, the speed will be very, very fast, also a lot more dangerous. So once again, let's do a curl. I'll do it sideways so you can see it. Okay, and once again, a push up. So you can have your hand in any position to do that, by the way. That's way out here. So a curl like that, and then once again, if I get my hand to switch over. Once again, you can just go ahead and extend it. So there you go, folks. That is a working upper arm. Both directions are powered now of our exoskeleton. I'm not going to test this today with my body in it walking around. I've got a lot of wiring stuff to do. I've still got to put our extension off of this. The goal of this suit was to have a full hand reaching out in front of where you're going to hold on to right here. So my fist is holding on here. We're going to have a hand sticking out like this out in front of that we can grapple and grab things with. Alright, so what I'm going to do here, folks, for you is give you a demonstration of what the suit looks like in action here, at least the arm from the side without me in it. I'm going to go ahead and just hold on to one part here. Right, there's a center nut just to keep it centered for you. There's the extension. There's your curl. And there you go once again. Okay, today what I want to do is go ahead and show you a hand that I've put together for our Exo 2 project. This hand is built out of some very simple stuff. First of all, let me show you the dynamics of the hand. You can see we only have 3 main fingers, not 4 like our standard human hand, but we do have our thumb. Open this all up. Open up our thumb here, and there you go. We now have a open hand, and I'm going to set up the cabling system. I'll show you the holes already drilled in the thumb, that I've got the cables lined up on both sides so we can both close it and open it with the cable driven right from our main winch on the back of the suit. So right now, as you can tell, we've got a nice open hand. It'll close around an object really well. So altogether, when it closes down into a solid fist, it'll look just like this. So if I hold it there for you, you can see the look of our robotic hand. That hand is basically built out of the cable guide for the front of one of those winches that we used. The main pieces, the burlier chunks of the fingers, are the outer roller wheel that you see right here. The inner pin is the very tips of the fingers. And the black part that you see back here, that part, these parts here, are just some black steel tubing that I had. And I've used that across one of the main pins in the back, so one of the main pins that were on the roller bearing thing. So even the frame here is also part of the hand. So that's just pinned in, all the fingers are on there, even the thumb is now pinned in between the two top fingers, so that way they line up nicely in between each other. On a more advanced model here, you could make each finger move individually, but on this model, all our fingers are going to move kind of in unison together, pull together all at once. That way you can grip something with it, and they'll also, once again, release all at once. Okay, so I'm done now with the cables that are necessary to draw the hand closed. And they're going through all the knuckle areas here, all the way up to the very tips of the fingers. You can see them coming out right there in my thumb, going up to the tips of the fingers. The thumb's ready to go. So what I want to do now is quickly just actuate each one of the fingers for you. So there's your first finger, comes all the way down, as you can see, like that. If I go ahead and pull the thumb at the same time, you can see the grip that it's going to have there. You go ahead now and pull the rest of the other two fingers. There's that one, and there's that one. So you can make a nice fist with it, and I'm not pulling quite as hard on the rest of them as I am on that one. Once this is hooked up to the winch motors, it'll draw a really nice tight fist. Let me set up something to grab with this, just to show you that you can grab something with it. Alright, I'm just going to pull on two of the cables here. This is the thumb and the first finger. Let's go ahead and grab the can. See, there we go. We can lift the can up here. You can see that. Let me go ahead and grab the rest of the cables, see if I can get them on there nicely. Okay, so there we go. There's all the fingers in the thumb holding on to the tin can. We let it go, and we'll grab it again. So there we go. I just wanted to show you that, folks. That was a way that you can build your own robotic hand, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to use springs to return the hand to full open again, which is all the way out like this, or if I'm going to go ahead and just run the other set of cables back here through the back side of all the knuckles and do a cable driven. Today I want to start you out with me not in the suit, just giving you a look of the suit here. I'm going to go ahead and jump in it. You can see now this is the simple spring that I have, very thin. Maybe if I can get the angle turned just right, you might be able to see it there. And there's a spring that opens all three of the fingers, and I have another one inside on this hand that opens the thumb. Over here we have a different series of springs, kind of more of a burly spring design. I wanted to see how much different it would be to have a more powerful opening hand. Once again, there's the hand gripping and lifting. So there's our Exo-Suit with its full robotic hand system in action. You can see that hand opening up there. So today we're going to do some simple grabbing with this and releasing, just to show that both arms do work of our exoskeleton suit. Let's go ahead real quickly and grab the tin can again. So there we go, we have that tin can in our hand. We can hold it, move it all over the place, set it down anywhere we want by simply extending the hand. So let's go ahead now and grab it with the other hand. So there you go, you can grab it with either hand. And once again, as we get it out to the extension, the hand will open up. The spring returns are working properly. Once again, let's grab it with the other hand. And then we got the can in our hand here. Let's set it back down. And there we go. A very simple way to have humanoid style hands for grabbing objects. Once again, with our opposite hand. Now you can hold that anywhere you want. You can set it up on top of a shelf if you'd like, or you can just set it right back down to where you got it, and the hand will release it. The last time I grabbed this coffee can from the top, I'd like to do that again, but first what I'd like to see if I can do is do a dual hand grab onto this coffee can. Alright, so I can do a dual hand grab on something about the size of a coffee can, because you can see my hands inside of that are very close together. Go ahead and put that back down. And there we go. We can go ahead and try it with the left hand again. there we go, we can pick something up, hold it there, and not let it go until we want to. Right at the end of the stroke, you release kind of your pressure on the handle and it's going to let it go. You notice the hand doesn't close if there's no weight in it. You can bring your arm up to any position, it's not closing that hand. I push down on the hand, it's going to close it. I let go of it, it's going to open it back up. Alright, so let's try that with the right hand now. Just grab the coffee can. I gotta go the right way with it. So there you go. You can pick up the coffee can, bring it over to the side, set it down on top of something if you wanted to. You can hold it, walk around with it. And once again, at the end of the stroke, the springs on the hand are going to open up and release it nicely. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed. This is Mr. Teslonian as we get closer and closer to finishing our exoskeleton suit. Alright, today folks, what I want to do is just take you through two very simple things I've added to the suit. They're kind of the last things we needed to do. First of all, I've got a thumb-controlled joystick controller for our hand. And we've got a grip safety here that is our main power to all those winches. This is a set of jumper cables, the big wires that you see here, and I'll show you, let's see. Somewhere in here you can see the big pack of them. That is a set of jumper cables running down here, and this is the handle of the jumper cable, the insulated handle. I've got one lead of the jumper cable here, and I've got the other one over here. What we're using this for is our main power line to all those winches. And when the spring has pushed the handle open like it is now, there is no power to any of those winches. And when you squeeze down on it, it brings those two leads into contact with each other, giving you power to the suit. The second you release that, all power to the suit shuts off, giving you a form of a safety on the suit. And right here, the grip controls are very, very simple. I don't have the power hooked up to that at the moment, so we're just going to activate it with a finger. So there you go. These are all very easily actuated with your thumb. So there you go, folks. That was how I was going to build our safety and our thumb actuated joystick controls. Until next time, this is Mr. Teslonian. So today, folks, it's just a real quick show. First of all, I want to show you the beginning of our, let's call it furniture, we're putting over the suit. That's going to cover all the cables and the workings of it. You can see it there. If I grab this one, you can see it over here. It's a nice working design. Really quick, let me get in so you can see it move around just for a second. Put that armor on it, nestle into it. So there you go. If I turn sideways here for you a bit, you should be able to see that. So one of the things about this suit that's different than a lot of other designs, because of the cable system, this allows us to change our power plants that actually move our cables in the suit. So we can take these winches out of here and, let's say, hook this cable up to a pneumatic ram or a hydraulic ram. We can do that with each one of them, and now you get a lot faster response. You're not going to get quite the same torque as you're going to get out of one of these electric winches, but you can get a lot more speed out of it. Also, like I said in the very first show with the wheelchair exoskeleton, I wanted to actuate one with nitinol springs, and the cost of the springs were so high that there's no way I could put a spring in for each one of the joints throughout each part of the suit. It's very, very expensive. So this was the way to kind of still have a working suit with a single nitinol spring moving a whole leg instead of multiple springs being needed for your hip, your knee, and your ankle there. So that was what I wanted to go over with today, folks, was how simply this design could be now powered by multiple different units. Like I said, either hydraulic, pneumatic, or nitinol springs, just to name a few. I'm sure people out there could come up with even more ways to tug on a cable. I realized that puppets were very, very similar to exoskeleton movements. A little crude, a little rough, but that was the original way that we mimicked human motion with puppet designs. And I thought, well, we got cables. How do we move cables in a puppet that's on my back, let's say? Until next time, I hope you enjoyed. This was Mr. Teslonian. Folks, Mr. Teslonian here. I have finished all the construction phase of our exoskeleton suit. As you can see here, we've got it all covered up, nice and painted. Our hands are ready to go and functioning. Let me go ahead and turn to the side so you can see the side profile of the suit here. You can see we put some nice furniture down by the leg down there. Let me go ahead and turn it around. Now you can see the back furniture. I put a nice cover back there, folks. That covers the winches and the electrical system. So that looks pretty nice. Alright, so I just wanted to show you that in the full screen angle so you can see the whole suit at once. I've got the arms on free motion, which is just pulling the knobs on the winches, giving me free spool, so when there's no power, I can still move my arms. Alright, so now we're going to walk up and just show you the whole suit now. I went a little overboard on the paint, but it made it look really nice, as you can see here. Gave it a almost an aluminum look over the entire system. There you go. You look down the legs. Another thing that's happened here, folks, is a lot of reinforcement. You can see here the legs are no longer one piece of flat stock, which was this piece on the inside. There's now a piece of angle iron over that, and welds and bracing going down underneath it, so it's a lot stronger on the legs than they were. The joints down here are now many sections thick. There's actually 4 plates throughout the knee joint. Inside the leg, as you can see right here on the leg, there's reinforcement bracing all through it. There's even a piece of angle iron running down the back, some bottom brace pieces, just to try to give as much strength to the suit as we could. So there you go, folks, that's a front look. Let me go ahead and turn the machine around and give you a back look to it. So here's a quick shot of the back of the suit, and this has just got a couple ears up here at the top that fit inside of a couple little grooves to hold it in at the top, and one nut down here you undo and pull the whole cover plate off of everything. One of the neat things about this design, folks, like I said in the last video, was our power plant design. This allows us to change our power plants over. Not only that, but it's about 2/3 more efficient this way than other designs that are out there. Most of the designs I see have a ram for each one of the joints, so you'll have to have a pneumatic or hydraulic ram for your elbow, one for your shoulder, one out here for your hands to move. Your leg's going to take at least 3, one there for your hip, one at your knee, one at your ankle. Whereas this design would take one ram to move all 3 of those joints, making it about 2/3 more efficient than other designs out there. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed. This was Mr. Thessalonian. Well, I'll tell you one thing I don't like are these wireless controllers for the feet. They've got quite a bit of a delay between the time I hit them and when they react. This can be very difficult to learn to pilot, and it's going to take me a lot more than just the last 3 minutes that I've been in this suit. So let me go ahead and turn around now. I'm trying to focus here, folks. You can see my face kind of aiming downwards. So there we are. The suit is suspending itself. As you can see here, my shoulders are not touching in there at all. It's holding itself up. We can go ahead and drop that all the way down to the ground here. I'm going to have to use both feet. One thing about this I noticed, these wireless winch controllers don't work at the same time. So you can only use one foot at a time. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull my shoulders back out. I'm hunched all the way over. Let's go ahead and lift ourselves up with it. And once again, like I said, I can only do one leg at a time. Otherwise, the wireless winch controllers don't work. So not what you want to use if you want to do dual motions at the same time, obviously. This makes this very difficult to show this machine in operation. So here we go. Let's go ahead and do a curl. And the same over here. So there's our hands in operation now. They obviously do work. And because they're wired controls, I can move them both at the same time instead of independent from each other like the other ones, which kind of sucks on the feet. I was hoping that those would work a lot better, and they ended up working. Okay, so now one of the things I want to do, I've got the suit kind of set up in a pretty balanced location here. I'm kind of checking it out. I want to do the same thing I did on the first suit test, and that's free suspend my entire body weight minus maybe one toe in the suit. Let's see if I can get out of the suit. I don't have any cables holding this thing up. The only balance to the suit is me, so this could kind of fall out of my hands here, but I wanted to show you the capability of the suit to keep its own balance. Good thing these are quick release. Well, it's supposed to be quick release. There you go. And there you go. And I'm going to take one foot out, the other foot out of the suit. As long as I kind of hold it up, you'll notice the suit's holding itself up now. That's not too bad for a homemade system made out of basically kind of junk from my junk pile. So let me go ahead and hop back in it again. A little trickier to get in it than it is to get out of it. Almost got me there. All right. So that should be a pretty good demonstration of the suit's ability to hold itself up, and that it's also rather balanced. Very little was needed for me to do that. Alright, so the next one of these was to hold all my body weight up. Let's go ahead and pull that foot out. I'm going to try to suspend myself once again in the suit like that. So once again, there we go, folks. I'm trying to get, let me see, I'm going to lift my leg up real quick so you can see all my body weight is in the suit. So there you go. Let me go ahead and put my feet back in. There we go. So if you had any questions on whether the suit was able to support somebody on its own or itself, that should have put those questions to rest. Alright, so yesterday I showed you the exoskeleton suit in operation with those wireless controllers. Showed you that they had some flaw in their operation. Right now I've got one of the legs ready to go with our new wired toe controls. Let me show you here how this works. We used to have that wireless switch inside of this box. These two little pistons would go up as you moved your toe, actuating that switch, making it move. And I showed you that it had a big delay in the way it worked and you couldn't use them both at the same time. We've got our new switch right here, and this is a center off, on one direction, opposite polarity the other direction, switching over. And we got all the bridges back here on the back of the switch. That way we can use 4 wires. So just like before, moving your toe is going to actuate the switch and move your leg. So when you lift your toe up, it's going to flip the switch that direction. When you're ready to stop moving it, you put your toe to a neutral position or flat. Put your toe down, it's going to flip the switch that direction. And that's going to make you stand up. When you push your toe down, that's going to make you stand under force. You're going to stop standing. Now obviously you want to go back down to retract to a lower position. And you move your toe. Now I know this isn't the best way to do it, but it is probably the simplest yet functioning way that you could make this work without a bunch of different switches and advanced controls. I tried this up on my hip, I tried it at the knee, and I didn't like that. There's certain places where you go to move and it's doing the opposite of what you want it to do. The only place on the suit or on the leg that I could make it work just the way I want it to is off of the toe. That's something that felt natural.